Hello, this is Jeff Erdman, E.D.S. Shandon, and got you on another road trip this morning. We're going to be heading for Yosemite, and I'd like to invite you along. Thought I'd let you see the sun rising this morning. It's coming up behind the Sierras there. Lower you down a little bit. There you go. There's enough haze in there that you can pretty much look straight at it and it doesn't hurt your eyes at all. But it's kind of pretty this morning. Well, we're heading into Fresno now. You can see the towers of the city up ahead. It kind of reminds me of some years back when I was a younger man driving into this city, it was 25, 30 years ago. This was just a 2-lane road. And as you came into Fresno, of course the highway was about a half a mile to the west. From here, this was built on a whole new road bed, but the old highway was just 2-lane, north and southbound. And as you came into Fresno, you would have maybe 10 or 15 little fruit stands. Off to the right, you could get whatever you wanted, all sorts of fresh produce as you drove into town or drove out of town. So it was kind of a neat little market area. It was sad to see that go, and of course when they moved the highway over this far, those little communities kind of died. They just dried up, and there's not much there anymore. But so that was pretty sad. The fruit stands couldn't survive without the traffic, and so they had to move to other locations, I'm sure, where they could make their living. But it's kind of a neat memory. They really did need a 4-lane highway because it was getting crazy out there. A lot of accidents and that sort of thing from people's angst, basically. Give you a shot of Old Town there. That was downtown Fresno. That was the business center when I was a young fella. Not so much anymore. It's interesting. I mean, we're looking right at the Sierra Nevadas, but you cannot hardly see them from here, and we're just right there. There's been times that I can see them clearly all the way across the valley, which is probably 60, 70 miles across. But here I am just at the foothills of the Sierra Nevadas, and you can't see them because of the haze and the filthy air. Well, it's kind of interesting. Of course, there is kind of a dampness up here, so that's part of the haze, I'm sure, the early morning air. But at any rate, it's just interesting to me that the air quality is so poor here. And of course, this valley has really grown tremendously. They blame it on the farmers, and yeah, that has something to do with it. But man, Fresno's now well over 1 million people, probably heading into 2 million with Clovis and the other communities around it. Bakersfield is heading towards 1 million people. All these towns up and down this valley are growing with lots of people moving here, and a lot of them are commuting out of the valley to the big cities on the coast, north, south of here. And so, because it's cheaper to live in the valley. And so all that adds to the air quality here, along with the agriculture. They blame it on the cows and the gases the cows emit. And of course, you know, they used to burn a lot of crops here. I don't think they're allowing that so much anymore. A lot of times they burn after they did a harvest to get right back into that soil and get it chilled back up. I don't think that's a practice anymore because of the air quality here, but that used to cause a lot of poor quality air. And of course the fires up in the Sierras have been out for a while, so this isn't from that either. So this is just the dirty valley air. Okay, we're in the park and we still got a ways to go before we hit the valley. I think it's 30 miles maybe. I can't remember. 20 miles, 30 miles, something like that. I think there was a sign out front there, but I didn't pay any attention. So we got a little ways yet to go. Okay, we're coming down into Wawona. They have a golf course here. There's an old hotel. It's kind of classic, beautiful place. Presidents have stayed here and that sort of thing. So it's kind of an interesting place. I'll try to get a capture of that as we come in here. Usually there's a deer crossing right here. You gotta pay real close attention because they go out on the golf course and eat the green grass out here, and as they're crossing they cause problems. Don't see any today though. So that was Wawona. Kind of an interesting thing when you see the sequoias through here. You see very little burn on them. They have a really fire-resistant bark, so the only time that you see them burn is if an area of their wood was stripped of the bark, then it'll burn that part of the tree. But the pine trees, all that sap and stuff, man, those suckers light up like a candle. But the sequoias, they're kind of a furry bark that's almost fire retardant in itself. So you don't see a whole lot of damage to those trees. And of course, that's probably why they last for thousands of years. You know, some of those date back to the time of Christ. Some of the big ones they have here. So there's a sequoia right there to the, oops, you weren't aimed at it. You got firs and you got pines and all sorts of varieties of trees in here, and interspersed throughout them, you'll see a sequoia here and there. We're going to be going down through the tunnel here real soon. I'm not sure. Into the valley, yeah. We'll be going through. There's Half Dome there. So we're going through this tunnel. When we get out the other side, there's a view of Bridal Falls. It's about a mile away. So it's pretty cool. Hopefully we'll be able to capture it. You have to be careful. On the other side of the tunnel, there's parking on both the right and the left side of the tunnel, and people cross the street. So you have to be real careful because folks will get hit there. Okay, heading up to the end of the tunnel now. Not much of a fall to see, to be honest with you. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of water in there. When you come up in the spring, it's just white all the way down. It's really beautiful. Right now there's just trickle water falling. We're coming down into the valley now. You see a great granite cliff up there. Little Capitan. Try to get you some better views of the valley too, if I can. It's hard to do that from a truck, but we'll do what we can. Pretty little meadow, and look what rises above it there. Then over here we have Half Dome. Beautiful little area. I like the top of that dome. Look at how that's just kind of rounded off at the top there. It looks cool. Not near as much water up here since the last time I came. And you can see the meadows dried out. So it's all but getting ready for winter. Okay, going past the little grassy field again. Pretty view up there on that hill, huh? Pretty awesome. Picturesque. Okay, some villas. Yeah, this is where I need to go. I've finished my job walk and head back now. Oops. Can't see her. Gotta be real careful here. There's people all over the place. So you get a shot of it. A little river down here, the Yosemite Valley River. There's a break up in the trees here that I think will work out real well. Yeah. There we go. Pretty. And there's a lot of water flowing. Now that's Bridal Veil. You couldn't hardly see that when we came down the road. You can imagine what that looks like when there's a whole lot of water running off of that. Let me see if I can get a better shot. You can imagine what that must look like when there's a ton of water falling off that. And that falls for hundreds of feet down to the valley bottom here. So eventually feeds into this very river here. So it just looks absolutely fabulous, and there's a lot of water in there. Okay. You better get going. show you out here. This is acres and acres of blue jeans. That's cotton, and it's yet to be harvested out here yet. Doesn't look like a very heavy crop though, but that'd be my blue jeans for life. Kind of pretty there, the clouds coming over from the coast. I think maybe there's rain coming in, I'm not sure, because real strong wind. But look at the sun coming, the setting on the other side there, so the light looks pretty neat. I don't know if you can see that upper cloud or not. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So this is the last little range before you get into the Parkfield Valley area, which is basically the same area that I live in. That whole valley that runs all the way down straight up the river. But as you can see, it's pretty clouded, and it even has some wet stuff on the window a little bit, so I think we got rain coming. I didn't know that that was happening tonight, because the wind is just blowing like crazy. Sunset back down there. Cloud cover there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Well, it looks like it's raining down there to the south. We left this morning, we were heading into the sunrise, and now we're heading into the sunset. There's some deer up on the hill here. Would have turned you towards them, but I don't think I could have focused it, hit them, so you can see them anyway. There's a little valley down here that I live in.